Today we will talk about XLM, XRP, specifically because of ties into SBI and R3 Corda, and how Stellar is positioning itself within the US government that lines up with what I talk about in terms of the adoption of the Stellar network and XLM. Here is a hearing before the Committee on Financial Services in the U.S. House in 2021. And Donnell Dixon, who is the CEO of Stellar, she is talking about tokenization of assets and how there are tokenized interests in real estate or in fractionalized interest in U.S. stocks and equities, which ties back into what Franklin Templeton is doing. And the big thing here is that IBM is also heavily involved in all of this, which connects into R3, XRP, the Hyperledger, which connects into Casper, HBAR, Quant, all of the things that I tend to talk about. And here is what the main content is about. So in April of 2020, the SDF announced an exclusive partnership with a company called Elliptic, who at that time was the world's first XLM transaction and wallet screening solution provider. They also are the global standard in preventing, detecting, and actively pursuing criminal activity in this emerging industry. They combined their services with the built-in compliance functionality of the Stellar network. And what Elliptic has is monitoring, compliance, and analysis software, which enable financial institutions, businesses, and regulators to identify a full range of illegal activities, from fraud schemes and money laundering, sanctions evasion, and terrorist financing, which will also enable the rapid addition to Elliptic's platform of other Stellar-based assets like stablecoins. Now, an extremely interesting tie here is that in March of 2020, the IRS chose Elliptic to trace crypto transactions, which was about 1 month prior to the partnership announcement here. And in 1 month's time, it's not like the partnership just popped up as an opportunity. That kind of partnership takes a very long time to establish, which points to the IRS choosing to involve not only Elliptic but also Stellar. So we have that Elliptic was awarded the contract from the IRS Office of Information Technology Acquisitions, who negotiated a sole source purchase order. I don't care about that. The description of the purchase is described as brand name Elliptic web subscription-based analysis tools. The contract will help assist the criminal investigations cybercrime section of the IRS to assist in the tracing and analysis of various types of cryptocurrency transactions and the entities involved. At that time, it was not known why the IRS was concentrating on tracking and tracing cryptocurrency transactions under the C19 thing. Questions remained as to what the rationale was for the IRS to use powers widely known for providing public assistance to track and trace cryptocurrency transactions, or if the contract was made by the IRS CI Cybercrime Division as a response to the breach on Twitter. And now we begin to tie this into R3 Corda because of the involvement of SBI, which then goes back into XRP. But because I just talked about how Corda has been confirmed to be working with XRP as of not only 2021, but also 2024. The involvement of Elliptic is pretty interesting as it points to Stellar being incorporated into the new blockchain financial infrastructure because it is already tied into the US government, and they have shown that they are perfectly capable of being as compliant as possible. So here is where I found a lot of interesting ties. Did you know that your favorite crypto exchanges currently use Elliptic, and that software uses XLM as a way for compliance and regulation? They use Elliptic for pretty much everything: exchanges, institutions, and even government agencies. So here is an article I found, which is here from August of 2019, which actually came about 8 months before the announcement of the involvement of the IRS, where Elliptic and researchers at MIT and IBM, which is heavily connected into Stellar and XLM, as well as into Casper, HBAR, XRP, Quant, and everything else. And that was to apply deep learning techniques with machine learning to detect illicit transactions in Bitcoin. In that April 2020 announcement, it said that Elliptic has spent the last several months creating the necessary infrastructure and integration with Stellar to support it. Elliptic analysts will engage in ongoing dark web research, identification of money laundering patterns, and the collection of high quality data that ties XLM accounts to known entities. Exchanges, institutions, and government agencies rely on Elliptic's AML compliance and forensic and investigative services to analyze billions of dollars in crypto transactions every month. Now here's where we tie into SBI, R3 Corda, and XRP. So here we have that SBI uses Elliptic, which means that they automatically use XLM in the background. And that is from Mr. Yoshitaka Katao, which I think I got close on that, who is CEO of SBI, who is a partner with Ripple as well as one of the largest investors in the company. And he says that we believe that crypto assets will play an increasingly important role in our everyday lives and are shaping the future of banking. Elliptic's pioneering approach is enabling transparency, integrity, and trust required for this vision to become reality. And another interesting one that is new is that the ties into the terrorist connections relate to pretty recent events that I won't talk about on here. So there is involvement in that even now. And ultimately, the point here is that I am thinking more and more that Stellar is extremely well positioned to be what can be explained as the public-facing blockchain infrastructure of the incoming blockchain financial system. And that is because the network and the protocol itself can do everything from smart contracts to clawback and freezing, which are crucial to be adopted and implemented at the institutional height, because the clawback and freeze are two things that relate to KYC and AML. And we just showed here that Elliptic looks to be the part of Stellar that will be concentrating on the AML end of things, which just ties into how Stellar is so uniquely positioned to be able to provide large-scale global integration into the financial system.